Yeah.
What's going
I
on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's been a while. We are now back with another episode of the Real Ones Gaming Podcast. I'm Greenspmk, and as always, I have my fellow hosts with me. First up, he is for all the way from Atlanta, the king of NBA 2K, King AJ. What's up?
Yo, it's your boy King AJ, the head honcho of the RealOnesGaming family. I'm back at it again with a blessed and healthy episode of the Real Ones Gaming. You can find me on Twitter at King AJ underscore 15. My Instagram is King AJ underscore 15, and my YouTube channel is King AJ. You can find me there. Stream Monday through Friday and sometimes Saturdays if I feel like it. But we're gonna pass it over to the lovely veggie queen herself, Miss Ruby.
Thank you for that. What up, everybody? I'm RubyRose88. My friends call me Ruby. You can find me on Twitch as RubyRose88 or Tumblr, TheHoneyTea. Check out my social medias. You can find me on IG as QueenIR, all one word, lowercase. Twitter, RubyRose _ this week on my Tumblr page, I'll be reviewing Dear White People on Netflix sometime this week. I did have a chance to finish it today, so check that out sometime later this week on my Tumblr. And we also have another host. Currently, she's away, Miss Pinky. She's currently taking a break from the Real Ones Gaming podcast to work on other projects, but you can definitely find her on Twitch, Miss Pinky 313, and all her social medias are there. She's a wonderful person. She also is working on a Black Mommy Gamer blog, and you can also ask her more about that over on her Twitch. So, Pinky, we miss you.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in the background. All right, and I'm Green SP MK once again, the lovable panda, the ninja panda, the Jedi panda, the green panda, whatever you want to call it. You can catch me out on Twitch Monday through Thursday. I'm back on my regular schedule now, so Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with surprise streams on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to know when the surprise stream is happening for that week, just head over to my Instagram or any of my social medias at GreenSPMK. Currently, I'm working on a few different projects. I finished my logo. I'm done. I'm not touching it anymore. I think it's perfect. I like the color scheme. I like the way it looks on t-shirts and stuff, which is other projects that I'm working on too. I want to get not just merch, but like something to give back to everyone to say thank you so much for everything you guys have done. So I am going to be giving away some sort of t-shirts or whatever in the future. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I can talk about right now. There's some other stuff going on too. So yeah, shout out to Miss Pinky. We do miss you. And yeah, we're working on the Real Ones Gaming podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one other thing before we go into our break. So some of you might be listening to this podcast on the Real Ones Gaming YouTube channel. For those that still are listening from any other kind of source, we did move our podcast location over to the Real Ones Gaming YouTube channel. So make sure you look in the description for that link to that channel and go over there and subscribe. Make sure you comment on all our podcasts and content and let us know what you guys think. And make sure that you join the Real Ones Gaming Podcast Discord because it's getting better and better every day. So you might want to check that out. But we're going to take a quick break, pay a couple bills, and then we will be right back.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Miss Pinky 313. I am affiliated with Gamer Grind Co., freshly roasted coffee for gamers. If you never tried it, you need to try it now. You can also use my discount code, give you 5% off your entire order using Pink313. They have decaf and caffeinated coffee, so try them out. Partner and sponsored with True Skills Pro, that's skills with a Z, Pro Multimedia Consultants. For logos, graphics, web designs, and more, email them at trueskillspro@gmail.com. That's skills with a Z. I'm also sponsored and partnered with DTRT 313 Clothing Co. for hoodies, t-shirts, and merch for the Pink Squad for men and women. Check them out at DTRT 313 Clothing. Also, make sure you follow me at Twitch at twitch.tv/MissPinky313.
What up, people? It's your boy, King AJ, man. Back at it again. We're here with the Real Ones podcast, and we have our own Discord. So if you are a small streamer, small content creator like us that needs some backing, some support, come to our Discord at Real Ones Gaming. We're welcome open arms. We give you feedback on equipment, how to grow your channel, what stuff you need. We give you news, podcasts every 2 weeks. And the Discord link will be in the description. And we out of here.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, and another month and another set of free games. AJ, why don't you start us off with the PlayStation free games for the month of August?
The PlayStation games of the month of August that will be dropping the 6th of August. That is a Tuesday. Sniper Elite 4 and Wipeout Omega. Sniper Elite 4 is a co-op multiplayer sniper game that we be taking on missions to take out the enemy or hatred people that you have to go against. And Wipeout Omega is a racing game that features online play and multiplayer combat. With his 26 maps that goes crazy. If you didn't have it on the PlayStation 2 back in the day, you can get it now for free for the low on October 6th, Tuesday. Now we're going to kick it over to Miss Ruby with the Xbox Games of the Week.
All right, Xbox Gold free games. First up, Gears of War 4, Xbox One, available August 1st through the 31st. Forza Motorsport 6, Xbox One, available August 16th through September 15th. Big Crown Shadow, Xbox One, available July 16th until August 15th. Torchlight, Xbox 360 and Xbox One, available August 1st until the 15th of August. Castlevania Lord of Shadows, available August 16th until August 30th. Those are a list of both your PlayStation and Xbox free games. And we're gonna go ahead and slide all into the stories. We were talking about free games just a moment ago. Sorry, tongue tied all of a sudden. And for my story, I want to bring attention to an indie game. I found this really interesting indie game. It's called Rush Attack. It's an indie game featuring primarily fighters of people of color. It's a side scroller beat 'em up type of game. The description of the game is the darling adventure of unlikely heroes in a battle to save their home from destruction. Rush Attack is a side scrolling beat 'em up unlike any other. And they are not joking when they say it's unlike any other. They are still in development, so the roster of heroes is not done yet, but it's primarily women, women of color, number one. And number two, their fighting styles are all different. We got boxers, we got weapon experts. One of my favorite heroes, and she's one of the main heroes, her fighting style is a mix of ballet and capoeira. If you're not aware of what capoeira is, it's a dancing defensive style of fighting. I recommend you looking it up because it's one of the most interesting techniques of fighting out there in the world. And this game utilizes all that, and it's a side scroller. The artist is Albert Perry. Sorry if I'm saying your nightmare. Albert Perry. Pierre. I don't know why I'm saying that name wrong. I was saying it right this whole entire time, and now I'm saying it wrong. Albert Pierre. There we go. Please go support this project. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's an indie game. We need more games out there for everybody to see themselves being represented. And I am so excited for this game. I definitely plan to make this my donation goal to get the funds and to donate to this project. I like donating directly to projects that I'm excited for. And guys, I can't stop talking about this game. This game is just amazing.
I actually took a look at it. It looks fun. Like it
Oh
really
my
did.
god.
It reminds me of the days of sitting down when I was younger, back in the early '90s. Jesus Christ, playing like Double Dragon, and that's the feel that it kind of gives me. So I always loved Double Dragon. So I like beat 'em up, like side scrollers like that. So this kind of looks like it's gonna be a bang game. So yeah, definitely support that game, and for it to be indie game too is really good. To be honest with you,
Yeah, because they ain't had to go through no AAA companies.
yeah,
So
This is true, and surprise a lot of people when they hear the word indie games, they immediately go to like really crappy graphics and really like rudimentary like algorithms and techniques in fighting. But give a project enough money and it could be just as good as these bigger companies that put out these mainstream games. Support something enough and it could just shoot off and take off. Now, they're not stating which platform this game is going to be. I'm not sure if it's going to be a mobile game or a console game. I am shooting for the stars, and I would love to see this on console. This would be my highly recommended, highly gamed game if this game was available. I would stream this game every day if I could, possibly. That would be amazing. And if it was to become just a mobile game, I would still recommend it to all my friends because that's just how amazing it looks. Like it doesn't look indie. I don't like Green, like you said you checked it out. It to
yeah, I'm checking it
me,
out now.
if you haven't seen it or if you're seeing it for the first time randomly on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, you're gonna think that this is a highly skilled crafted game. The backgrounds are beautiful, the artwork is beautiful, the characters are realized, the hair textures, the shapes of the women and the men, because there are a few men characters out there. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Please support the project. And again, that is Rush Attack, and you can find them at a Rush Attack game on Facebook. And I believe you can find some like behind the scenes editing and all that stuff over at Art of Albert Perrier on Instagram. Yes, because I'm following him on all his social medias. Whatever little news tidbit comes out about this game, I'm gonna be the first one to hear about it.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna take a good look because the combos in this game looks immaculate. Like
Mhm.
I wouldn't even put it on mobile to be honest with you because these combos look like they're way too good to be trying to figure out on a mobile device. I would really like to see this on PlayStation. So
I
Sony,
would really like to see this on PlayStation. I feel like with enough support, it could even become like a multiplayer game. I mean, that's my hopes for it. Hopefully,
If you're
I mean, it looks like
really,
they actually has a space for a player too.
oh yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it looks like it, but again, I'm not too sure. The game is still in development. And people always say like, "Oh, what, if you guys want original content, you guys should just create original content." That's a lot easier to say when we don't have that mainstream money. But, if we all come together and chip in just that little bit amount of money, like we can see projects like this flourish and we can see more representation in video games for everybody out there. And I'm excited. This game is beautiful, and we'll definitely share the link so that you guys can see it for yourselves.
Yep. And half of you guys already know I like side-scrolling games like that. Like when I
I
think about,
love side scroller games. Oh my
I think the
god.
best ones I played was Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe.
Yes.
That
And I
was
was
my
so
shit.
mad when they took it off the PSN store. I was like, why?
I wish they had made it so we can get all our games back on the PS4 because that
Mhm.
was like one of those games that was banging on the PS3.
Oh my god, I love that game. I love beating Negascott. That was my favorite
Yes.
thing, and I was like, yes, I did it.
And you can play it. And another side-scrolling game that I like that's not a beat 'em up, but it is a shooter is and I've talked about this game so much. Bleed 2. That game is fun, and you can literally repeat the game over and over again, and it still is fun after playing it so many times. And you can beat the game like in one sitting easily, but the game is really fun, and it takes a lot of skill to do what you need to do. So this game, I can definitely see me sitting down for a few hours, just straight up, just playing it all the way through.
So Green,
So,
how many hours you put in total on Bleed?
um, damn
I
total.
think I put in over 100 hours on Scout Pilgrim because not only did it
Yeah.
have playback ability, but it had so much like unlockable content. Like you can unlock knives. I think at one point you can purchase original. It was an original DLC because I don't think the character was in either the comic books or the movie, but they created specifically for that game, and I was really excited about that. I think you can unlock Knives' dad, which was kind of weird, but I was like, you know what? I can dig this. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, that game had a lot of DLC for it. But as far as Bleed 2, I think I put in probably about the same amount, probably about 100. And then Scott Pilgrim, I probably put about 100. Because
Oh
those two
yeah.
games I was just playing repeatedly over and over again.
And you can
Especially the
unlock
fourth.
chiptune music in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah.
And I love chiptune. I'm just like, oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
So the
So,
only
Sasuke.
side, the only side, the side scrolling game I played was Turtles and Mega Man. So
Yeah. Yeah. Ninja
that's
Turtles
the
was
only
good too.
ones.
Ninja Turtles was good.
So those the only
Ninja
ones I played that was side scrolling. So I haven't played a side scrolling game since then. So if this
Um,
is
I don't think I've played a side scroller game since Scott Pilgrim. Now that I think about no, what was that game? There was a game that had 4 knights and you team up in a co-op like setting, and it was a side scroller. I can't remember the name of
Night
it.
Shovel
I
or whatever.
believe so.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. You
Yeah.
could be a blue knight, a yellow knight, a green
Yeah.
knight.
Night Shovel
Yeah, that
or
was
Shovel
fun.
Knight or
That was a
whatever it
fun
was.
little side scroller.
PS4 had one that was free a few years ago. Like literally, it was like maybe the first year that PS4 was out. Striker. Um, and then they had another one, and I can't remember the name of it. Um, but the one I can't remember the name of, and maybe that was called Striker too. You played as a ninja, and that was kind of like a side-scrolling type of game. But I got that game, and I need to download it so I can stream that too. That was pretty good too. Side-scrolling games are really fun, and a lot of people don't really give them credit where credit needs to be given. So, but as far as Rush Attack, guys, make sure y'all support it. Once again,
Please,
we're gonna put
please,
that
please,
link in the
please. Like,
description.
oh my god, indie games make the world go round. Like I don't think people realize how awesome indie games were. What was that one game that came out a few years ago that was an indie game no one thought would actually do well, and then it did really well? I think it was called Journey.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I
Yes,
still
I
have that.
remember. I remember a lot of people were like, "Oh, this game's not going to survive. This game's like way too weird. It's different." And it was an indie game that came from a really small company. I'm sorry, I don't really remember. It's been a while since I played Journey. But that game, I believe it didn't win Game of the Year, but I believe it came close second.
It was Journey. Journey was like one of the most artistic games that you can possibly get at the time, and then followed by then, I think that's what put a lot of indie games on the map, because then you got Rhyme, and then you got a whole bunch of other games, and Sony kind of put those games on the map. where it was just like everybody wanted to play the indie games all of a sudden, and to the point where now sources are saying that the PlayStation 5, with what they want to do, Sony wants to actually focus on indie games. So that's going to be really good to see when that happens. So I'm kind of excited to see what happens with indie games, and I think this is one of those indie games that needs to be included in that setup.
Yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
All right, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take another break, pay some bills, and then we got the Panda Facts coming at you too. So be right back after the Panda Facts.
What up, everybody? I'm here to promote The Cookout. It is a community that provides membership and resources for streamers of color while also building a safe space for these content creators to share and produce their content. Community nights, group meetings, charity events, and eventually programming will all occur on their channel. You can find them on twitch.tv/thecookout or any other social medias at thecookout.org. Black Girl Gamers is a online community where Black girl gamers can unite and game in a safe, harassment-free environment. Created by Jay Lopez, also she goes by Super Duper Curl in 2015. The community currently has over 3,000 members from all over the world and expanding. You can find them on Twitch at twitch.tv/blackgirlgamers or any other socials at Black Girl Gamers. And you can also find me at twitch.tv/RubyRose88.
Hey Pandas, are you looking for a cool custom controller that will help set your game up? Well, Cinch Gaming can hook you up. CinchGaming.com is the spot for custom controllers, energy drinks, gaming apparel, and more. Use the code GREENPANDA to save 5% off on any product. So what are you waiting for? Don't make gaming hard, make it a cinch. And if you're looking for clothing that not only meets your fashion needs, but also is designed for gamers, check out So Sick Clothing. SoSickClothing.co has a great selection of clothing and has free shipping on the US orders over $30. Make sure you use the code GREENPANDA at checkout. If you're going to step up your game, step up your fit, and make it so sick. And don't forget to check me out, GreenSpmk, at www.twitch.tv/GreenSpmk, Monday through Thursdays, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and also on YouTube. Just search GreenSpmk and click on the panda logo. Stay real. What's up, real ones? This is GreenSP here with the Panda Facts. Are you tired of the old stereotype that video games are just for kids? Well, I have some facts here that proves otherwise. The age of players are actually 29% of gamers are under 18, 32% are 18 to 35, and a whopping 39% are age 36 and above. The average gamer is actually aged around about 35 and has been playing video games for 14 years. That means that 59% of Americans play video games and 42% play regularly 3 hours or more per week, and 56% of Americans play with others, 21% with family members, and 16% with parents, and 15% with spouses, which we need to raise up that spouse thing. Have a little bit of video game love there. How important is video games? Well, a frequent gamers feel that video games provide more value for their money, which is 47% compared to DVDs, which is 28%, and music is only 12%. So this means video games are for the adults, people. Americans live off of video games and the world runs off of video games. But that's been your Panda Facts. I'm GreenSP. You can catch me out on www.twitch.tv/GreenSpmk. Be real. And we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that Panda Facts and those commercials. We're back. And the last few weeks have been very exciting for gaming. And not just for gaming, but for a lot of gamers. So for those who don't know, Fortnite hosted its World Cup recently. And I hope I'm saying this dude's name, but the young man, Bugha, who is, if I'm correctly, he's a Twitch streamer, I think.
Yes.
He took home a total of $3 million by beating 99 other players in the Fortnite Pros. And they're saying that this 100 total players is the planet's most skilled Fortnite.
He's only 16.
16, and he walked away with $3 million. Like,
I'm so poor.
I also heard that Fortnite actually gave away $30 million total in prizes because they had, like, you know, the team-based, the squads competitions as well. And apparently they gave away total, including this $30 million in prizes and whatnot for this tournament, for this World Cup. And it got me to thinking, we weren't here just a few years ago. Like, we weren't watching we were watching League of Legends have theirs.
But us gamers were, but this was not a mainstream thing as of yet a few years back.
Right. And we weren't like seeing it on a scale of, oh shit, you can win $3 million. We were looking at it like, oh, we can watch League of Legends and see them going after like 100,000 or 500,000. Never would we have thought they would have gave one individual $3 million for being the best out of 100.
He won that in solos.
Yeah. And you gotta think, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen him play, but that dude is either A, one of the most luckiest people, or B, one amazingly skilled person to play Fortnite. Because
I'm gonna say it's a little bit of both, because I swear to God, I've seen top tier people get sniped by like a 13-year-old that they just did not see for a split second, and it's like the funniest thing in the world to me.
He makes it look easy though. Like, he goes through it, and when he showed his face as he playing, it looks like he's so relaxed and not even worried that what he's doing is, I would assume, is a life changer for him and his family. You know what I mean? Like, $3 million is a lot of money. Yeah. Even with the taxes taken out of it, you're still looking at a lot of money. Yeah. So it's a life change, and he's just like sitting there playing it like he's back at home, like it's nothing. Person. Yeah.
Like, he just...
So my question to y'all is, with this going on, with EA's announcement of Respawn's announcement of Apex Legends now having a tournament as well. And we still have the Call of Duty tournaments. We still have all these other different games, these competitive game tournaments. How do you really see the evolution of competitive gaming?
In my honest opinion and my honest hope, and I know this is going to sound like a stretch, I'm hoping for Olympic status. Like, I know that's a lot. And a lot of people are like, no, there will never be an Olympics or summer games or winter games where you see people in a room playing video games. But we're talking about $3 million was rewarded to a 16-year-old kid. We're talking about over $30 million to a bunch of, how many, what was it? In the second largest payout in the history of competitive games. $30 million to dozens of young players, some of them just as young as 13 years old. You are kidding me. Like, in a perfect world, this is esports would find a slot in the Olympic Games. That's just my hope, my dream.
Well, remember now, in one of our podcasts, we talked about the father who took his kid out after his kid just won $2,000. This kid won $3 million. That makes that kid look like whatever. You won $2,000. I won $3 million.
I agree with Ruby, but there's a graduate to it. You start off with doing it on like big network TV, like with Overwatch. Overwatch throw there's tournament on ESPN. All the
Mm-hmm.
sports channels, they throw them up there.
Yeah,
They
they
put
do.
them on there. So I say start off with the ESPNs, the Spike TVs, and see
No,
how
don't put
that
on Spike TV.
transfer.
Don't put on Spike.
Because no,
Yeah,
no,
Spike
no,
like traditional cable TV has died. It got to be on a
Yeah,
streaming service.
yeah, you gotta have it on a
I
big network. ESPN is probably the biggest one you can do. Fox too.
Yeah, yeah,
Fox you can do
ESPN
it, and I think they have a
definitely.
contract
but
with Fox.
no. League of Legends has a contract with
That's what it was.
Fox.
Okay, I knew one of them did.
Mm.
Somebody had
League of
Fox.
Legends has a contract with Fox. And like I said, start off with the ESPN, see how the masses, because everybody watches ESPN. So if you put that Fortnite tournament on ESPN, then you can start hitting your your big time multi-million-dollar streaming sites and do it that way. But you got to start off on like ESPN first, see how that work out, then move it up. All right, we did this amount of numbers on ESPN. Let's see, can we go reach out to somewhere else? And then if it reaches globally, like going Olympic status, then that's a whole different bag because now you're going against people that play Overwatch, Fortnite, Call of Duty, Rainbow Six. If Rainbow Six has a tournament tomorrow, I think, for their top team diamond players tomorrow, I think.
Well, they always have tournaments too. Like I think that's the other thing too. It
So
kind of shows you which games are has a very good longevity. Rainbow Six
so
came out what 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
yeah.
and it's still going, still popular.
Mm-hmm.
Fortnite came out about the same amount of time, maybe 3 years ago, or what 2 years ago.
Give give it two
Yeah, like two
because
years
this is
ago,
their
and
second
that's
birthday.
still going up. Okay, then yeah, then 2 years ago, and that's still going strong. Apex Legends came
Mm-hmm.
out last year. We still
Yeah.
playing that, and that doesn't seem to be dying down at all.
And
So
also, just to let people know, the Fortnite World Cup
Yeah.
is less than 12 months old, less than a year old, and they're already handing out $3 million, $30 million
yeah,
dollars to dozens of
Yeah.
players. Like, I think the year that they show the Olympics and the fall and after the Olympics, before the Olympics, whenever is the next esport, I really do think a lot of these traditional TV shows are going to be comparing numbers and ratings to
Oh yeah,
see
they gonna definitely
which
compare numbers.
one is going to be viewed more. And it has been, in current years, less and less viewerships of the Olympics. Like,
because
people are
no
just
one
haven't
cares.
been as excited about the Olympics as they used to be back in the day. I remember my parents having Olympic parties and everybody
Mm-hmm.
coming up and cheering for their favorite team and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing as many Olympic parties as I used to back in the day. Like,
No.
oh, it's on TV, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's playing at the bar that I'm at randomly in the background. Awesome, cool,
Yeah.
yay. Oh, my team won, my country won. Woo, pride. And then that's it. You don't really hear
Yeah.
anything else about
You
it.
don't hear nothing about it from the
Um,
next day.
Exactly. But these esport tournaments, they're happening frequently. They're not as scarce as the Olympics. They don't have like, a set amount of time where they're not airing. I
Yeah.
think as esports grows and as they get bigger, um traditional cable companies, traditional television is going to look at these ratings and they're going to go, we could easily show this on our channel and get way more ratings. And I feel like once that happens, the likeliness of esports joining the Olympics is going to get higher and higher and higher. When is it going to happen? I have no freaking clue.
Because every time League of Legends put their tournament on Spike numbers go up because everybody likes League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's
So
Spike TV. We remember what bullshit they used to put on. So it's like you already had not
yeah,
a lot of good programming to begin with, but when you put something like that, that's actually watchable. It's the same thing with the only company I've seen do this correctly is Disney. Disney has so many different channels that they dedicated Disney XD to stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
If you don't know, to the people listening,
the
Disney XD, if you want to watch E3, you can change on Disney XD and watch the whole E3 event
Yep.
conference.
every day.
But it
So,
makes sense too because they're not they even though E3 is definitely for the adults who play video games because it's adults who
Yeah.
are buying video games, playing the video games, supporting esports and everything else. They're marketing the kids because that's where the money is. And it's not surprising that E3 is aired on Disney XD, but it also benefits us the parents who pay extra for Disney XD. Yay, cable bills. Woo!
yeah.
I still miss G4. I know I'm exposing my age right now, but I miss G4. I miss watching E3 over there. I miss
Mm-hmm.
watching their breakdown of games and newer games and indie games and esports teams. And I remember watching it and people going like, "Oh, you're such a nerd for this." And now it's becoming so mainstream and it's such a beautiful thing. I
Yeah.
just wish that
So
G4 was still alive to like witness this glory.
That
so
they
back to
started,
Ruby.
technically.
Yes, that they
So
started, right.
but so back to Ruby's Olympic uh statement about these tournaments. Where would you want to place them in the? You want them in the beginning of the Olympics, middle, or end of it? Because
Summer.
it seems like
It would be best for the summer, and I think as far as gaming, it would probably be best for like I'd say the beginning of the thing. Like let's air the sport. Like let's say hypothetically that my dream came true and esports was finally recognized as an Olympic sport and that they were going to show in the next Summer Olympics. I believe for it to be successful to start off showing these esports teams and these esports tournaments, and then as soon as all the winners have been selected for that, then move into the traditional games and the traditional Olympics. You get to keep your people that they're not there for the esports. They're like, fuck this shit. I don't want to watch this. I want to watch shot put. I want to watch javelin. I want to watch swimming. Like you get all those people, but then also you get your younger viewers. They're gonna be like, yes, this new I'm excited for. And then as soon as that's done, all right, I don't want to watch the Olympics no more. But then your traditional fans, your hardcore Olympic fans, they still get the content that they want. I think that esports being accepted should be the shiny new sport. And I do think that it should be the first thing aired at the Olympics. Get everybody accustomed and a little comfortable about it. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be like, what the heck is this? I'm watching a bunch of kids in front of computers. But once they see how exciting matches can be, it's going to be a done deal. It's going to be a wrap.
Well, I just want to see certain people not be included in it. And we
Really?
here at the Real Ones, we speak freely because I don't care if you get mad. Um, there are certain streamers and certain competitive gamers that I really wouldn't want to see in the Olympic gaming community. There are some, especially in the fighting community, like those who play Smash, those who play Tekken or Mortal
Mortal
Kombat.
Kombat.
For those who watch the top fighters, you probably already know who I'm talking about, and I'm not going to name his name because I only know his real name, and I'm not going to name his gamer tag. However, there's a dude that likes to go on his streams, and every time he gets his ass whooped, he likes to rage quit and close the game out so that it doesn't count against his win-loss record.
Oh,
But
But
no.
he's
Greg,
like a
but
top
Greg,
fighter in the tiers,
but
and
Greg, but it does
No.
count. It does count when you turn it back on, though. I know who you're
well,
talking about. It does count.
obviously it doesn't because he's still in the top rank. So people like that, I don't want to see that. Like if I turn on my TV and I see him on it, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm cool because
If
you
I
already.
feel like if it was an Olympic sport, they would not have any of that happen. One, they'd most likely have it the tournament style, so you would most likely forfeit for doing some dumb shit like that.
Yeah, they gotta
I
have
highly
rules for
doubt
that.
seeing that because even at the Fortnite World Cup, Ninja did not qualify to participate in the World Cup. We're talking about Ninja and his following and all his stuff that he does, and he's a great Fortnite player. Um, but he was there. He was there, and he did embrace Bugha, and gave him props for his win and
Mm-hmm.
congratulated him. Um, but yeah, I feel like if esports became as rigorous as Olympic Games, it would be way more rigorous. Nah, you're not finna rage quit midstream and then expect to be an Olympic athlete. Nah,
Yeah,
son.
I think if you going to do it like that, you would have to submit something to be qualified to even enter. You have to submit something that, or they can go check your stream or your video where you rage quit. That'll automatically disqualify you from entering.
Well, I would even say that with going back to the Ninja thing, I wouldn't say that Ninja should have been competing because I really never saw Ninja as a competitor. I saw him as an influencer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I could say is we see it now where now he's going from Twitch to Mixer because he's an
Mm-hmm.
influencer. He influences the Fortnite community. He influences the Battle Royale community. He's there to entertain. He's not there to compete. Now, a lot of people might say, oh, that's kind of disrespectful. No, it's a great thing because you have to have those two different types of people within the gaming community. There are those players that play solely to influence other players. And then there's some players who do only competitive stuff. And
Yeah.
for me, I think Ninjas is an influencer. PewDiePie was an influencer. A lot of Twitch streamers are just influencers. They're not competitors. They're influencers. The only ones that I can think of off of the top of my head that can kind of go within that two realms is like people that's part of the TK gaming team or people that's part of the FaZe team or any of those competitive teams that kind of branch off and they start to do YouTube videos that are like comedy and whatnot. They can kind of do a little bit of both. But he started off as an influencer. He still is an influencer. I mean, he might participate in the competitive gameplay, but when you look at how he became popular because he's an influencer. He's not a competitor. So I wouldn't expect him to be in the World Cup. I would just expect him to be there as like a commentator or as a host
Yeah.
or just like a face for the company. So I mean, and I think he now plays Apex.
He play Apex and Call of Duty now.
Yeah.
He played
So I
Black Ops.
mean, and it's gonna be crazy to see because I guess I can fit this into this topic now, but Call of Duty just released their new gameplay, and I, for one, am going to call it right now and say this might be the best Call of Duty they have ever made.
What?
I'm calling it myself. I done looked at that stream 3 times. I have not found not one thing wrong with this Call of Duty coming.
That
I
Call
have
of
not
Duty was
found not
beautiful.
one thing.
Like from the gun
I was
selection,
going in.
everything.
I was going into it with, okay, something's going to be wrong. When I watched that stream, there was nothing wrong besides when they was trying to play 20v20. That's the only thing. But they had multiple setups. They had console and PC. So that's why. But when the regular consumer get the game, they probably already fixed that by now. So I'm ecstatic for this Call of Duty. Can't wait to get my hands on it. And I seen Green post the pre-order stuff in the
Oh, I'm getting that
Discord.
$200 bundle. The $200 one I'm getting. I'm grabbing that.
No,
Night vision
no, I
goggles?
can't.
Oh, yes, sir.
To that, you can use that on the game. You can use those.
I don't care about the game. I'm using that from real life.
I mean,
when my girl comes home, I'm wearing night vision
Oh,
goggles
my
with a
God.
Nerf gun. I'm ready. Do you understand me?
oh my
like
God.
you can't
They're
not
supposed to
use
be.
it for that.
They're supposed to be for night. They're supposed to be. They're like VRs. They're supposed to be for not dark matter. I'm thinking of blackout.
Look,
On one of the maps that go dark, that's when you can use them in blackout.
let me tell you something. I normally don't say this, but if you are an individual who is wearing these Call of Duty night vision goggles while you play Call of Duty, and every time that you go night vision, you sit there and actually put on these night vision goggles, you, sir, are a nerd. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Just play the game. Like, don't make it too complicated. Just play the game. But my point to saying that Call of Duty is that Call of Duty is another competitive game that I kind of feel needed this new era of gaming with Fortnite, Apex Legends, Battlefield. It needed to have this competition for the spark of flame. I think last year when they released Black Ops 4 and they had the Battle Royale, they kind of got a taste of what it would be like if they just improved. And I think with this competitive gaming is now making games a whole lot better than what it is. Because now we going to catch Smash Brothers is now always improving their games to the point where now they're saying that the next Nintendo system they want to make to kind of be better to qualify for those people who are competitive in Smash Brothers. We now have Apex Legends coming out with tournaments and always making the game better with constant updates. We have new competitive games that we didn't even think was competitive is now becoming competitive. Mario Maker 2.
Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart, Mario Maker 2, those are becoming competitive games now. So I'm going to be happy to kind of see where those go and what happens with those. But yeah, it should be pretty good. Ruby, got any more to say on the competitive gaming?
I'm happy that this is becoming a thing. I remember being younger, and I say this all the time, that people didn't take gaming seriously. For a long time, a lot of people thought gaming was for weirdos and shut-ins and unproductive people. Oh, if you're a gamer, you're unproductive. A 16-year-old kid made $3 million. Shut the hell up.
Yeah.
And Ninja just got a bag. Like, come on. From playing Fortnite and Apex.
And I think Overwatch kind of started that.
Exactly. Like,
I think Overwatch started that too.
Like, they're going places. They're doing things.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I mean, I think that's like, I don't want to be a competitor. I want to be an influencer. But it's gonna be crazy to see.
I would mind if I was a competitor, because I love esports. I love what they're doing and everything. But this is just my one little hiccup. I'm not seeing a lot of females on these esports teams.
Well, they just had that one that was on the 2K.
The one out of how many competitive gamers?
And I would think most of the women competitors would be on. I've seen a couple on Overwatch, and
a couple. Like, compared to all the guys that play games, like I need more female gamers. I need you guys to showcase us, because we play games too. I'm not pro. I am not fucking pro, but the ones that are, Can y'all give them a little shine? Just a little shine, please, please, and thank yous.
And the women that do have
Well,
shine, can y'all stop doing stupid stuff and messing it up for the rest of the women who really need to shine?
yeah,
Because
please stop.
y'all
Please
be
stop.
y'all be getting the shine and y'all be doing some weird stuff with it, and I don't understand why. But
Mm-hmm.
there's women out there that's fighting for that shine that really deserve that shine, and y'all are messing it
Yep.
up for everybody. And that's the same way with the dudes. A lot of you dudes got the shine too, and you be messing it up for the rest of us because you don't know what the hell to
Cause
do
y'all
with your
wanna,
life.
well,
I ain't
y'all
gonna
don't know how to act right.
I ain't gonna say who it is, but I'm gonna just say Twitch. Y'all be letting these people get away with messing up the shine, and
Yeah.
Yep.
all right, I'm just
And
saying, y'all know damn well feeding alcohol to a cat is wrong, and y'all just allow it to happen. So I want to say, hear nothing else about
but you
we
but you
don't give the
suspend the
pass.
person from throwing a cat. But you suspend the person for throwing a cat
I didn't
that
even
landed.
look. Look, I I have my own personal thing.
I don't
We'll
even
talk
feel like
about it later.
talking about that
Yeah,
anymore.
that's a difference. I don't even want to.
Uh,
But yeah, competitive gaming, I think it's here to stay. It's going to last for a couple
yeah.
years
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
at
definitely here
least.
to stay.
It's gonna be
Um,
here for it's gonna be here for a good while. It ain't gonna go
I'm waiting for
nowhere.
Fortnite to announce Fortnite 2. I know it's coming. I know it's coming. They got to announce it. It's coming. I'm just waiting
Mm,
for them to do it. But
but back to root. But let me get this before we move on. It takes females to get along. Like you, Maya, Pinky. If y'all combine your forces and start your own little team on Overwatch alone, and see, and that will push it forward. Half of the females, and I'm speaking to the 2K community alone. Half of you females don't like each other, and y'all
that's not true.
started your own. No, 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 no. I seen and heard these females dog other females in this community. I mean, straight drag them through the mud, and then y'all decide to start your own WNBA 2K league, and y'all still don't like each other. Y'all still don't like each other,
Well,
and y'all on the same team.
and this is my debate with that. I can't say it's women because that's something that happens in every group of people, regardless of what you put before it. Whether it's men, whether it's women, whether it's black people, whether it's white people, it's always
Yeah,
going to be those few people that they just can't, for some reason, they can't get along with people that are like them. And me and you should know that more often than not, because we know people who have literally went around and tried to drag us down. So
yeah,
that should have been helping us out and been supporting us that have been literally dragging us down. So, and
yeah.
we no longer hear from those people because of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's just if you're a woman and you are into gaming and you are really good at it,
Go
don't
for it.
don't
Go.
put yourself in a box. Don't not put yourself in a box. Do what you want to do and do it how you want to do it. Because, like Ruby said, we do need to see more women in gaming. I want to see a diverse gaming
Hey,
league. That's what I want to see.
Well, to also be fair, the powers that be don't want that, because
because
it's not just the women that are missing. Like a lot of these esports team, it's mostly Asian guys, it's mostly white guys, maybe one melanated person out of like 6 teams for one day. Like we
mhm,
need a little bit more diversity in the image that we are putting out there for competitive esports. We need gaming to be more diverse of like everybody that I know that plays video games, we're not all Asian and or white.
mhm,
So it would be nice not just a feminine having a female team or having a mixed team, a co-ed team. Like just open the door a little just bigger, just a little bit bigger. I'm happy that Bugha, earned his money. He earned that money. Very proud of you, young
yeah,
man. Keep doing what you're doing. But the gaming industry, the esports industry needs to be a little bit more diverse. Just that would make me happy. if you guys could just, diversify just a little bit, thank you. That would be awesome.
Open it up. Open your eyes. Open your eyes, because
You got a lot of
some
streaming
small
services with these like awesome ass, people of color gamers that know what the hell they're doing. You got Mixer, you got Twitch, you got YouTube,
Facebook
you got
now,
Restream, you got Facebook. Like let's look into some diversifying, please and thank you.
Now, I'm not even gonna lie. I kind of want to get into this story with AJ because I was driving home today and
Okay.
I had an idea, but I'll get into it in a little bit. But yeah, go ahead, AJ.
But I want to get to the esports thing, because esports is a big company, but the team captain should be well aware of other gamers instead of the four that sits up, that the top four sits up there. Let's just say one of them has a family emergency. They should have another, like a 6-man on a roster that's been grinding for years, that got his following, that got his core fans to come out. That's what I'm trying to let esports know. You should have a 6-man roster to each team.
Oh, they do.
It could be
They do. They do. They got replacements on that. It's just that you never see them because
you never see the replacement.
Yeah, you'll never see them unless one of the players gets sick. Then you'll see them, but you'll never see them. Like, you'll never see me take my number 3 guy and bring him off the bench to put another person in there just because I want them all to have playtime. The way that they do it, or the way that I was told that they do it, is you have your main 6 who are like the most popular, or your main 5, whatever, in one certain game, and then the other players of that team, or of that particular roster, they try to put them in different games so that everyone gets a chance to play a certain game. And then even if there is a 6th person for that particular game that they never get a chance, what ends up normally happening is either that person just sits out completely for that particular game, and then they just play something else main, or they just have to sit there and wait, basically. So that's why they tell you, like, don't just stick to one game. Make sure you play different games and get good at all of them. Especially if you want to be competitive. If you have a dream of being the best Fortnite player, please play other games.
Well, that's okay. So I've read a lot of when I started streaming, I was reading a lot of advice articles about the best way to become a bigger streamer, and that's kind of a mixed bag. Like a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions about that. A lot, and this is what I read from somebody who works for Blizzard, and he has confirmed that this is a majority rule thing. So it doesn't matter if it's Blizzard, Epic, or whatever other gaming industry you can think of. A lot of these companies want to see consistency from these gamers. If you're an Overwatch player, you better be playing Overwatch 24/7. If you are a Fortnite player, 24/7. The list goes on and on and on. And then there are other articles that some smaller gaming companies that want pro gamers to play their games do want them to have a little bit of variety. But it seems like mainstream games, the Fortnite, the Epic Legends. I don't know why my brain is like pooping on me. Apex Legends. I don't know why I say Epic Legends. Apex Legends. They want you to play those games consistently so that they know that you're willing to train for 12 hours a day for that game. Just like how a few podcasts ago we said, the guy pulled his son out so that he can train solely for, what was it, Fortnite, I believe?
Yep.
Yeah. So they do want that from their gamers. Now me, I can't do that. If someone approached me, if the Washington DC esports team approached me and they wanted me to join their Overwatch team, I would definitely solely be streaming Overwatch. Like, I'm not streaming Dead by Daylight anymore, Dauntless anymore, none of that. Approaching me, asking me about that. So I'm gonna keep streaming what I want to stream. But if I was ever to be serious about becoming a competitive gamer, the companies do want to see you streaming only that one game because they want to see what are you going to be like at a tournament that starts at 5 o'clock in the morning and doesn't end until 10 o'clock in the evening. How are you going to handle that type of stress and pressure?
I guess that would be a good way to look at it. I know from a streamer's aspect, I think that's what it is. It's the difference between streaming
and being competitive.
Because with streaming, you definitely want to play other games. You don't want to be caught up in that bubble
of just one game.
Yeah.
But if brands are contacting you and they're like, hey, you better be streaming that one game.
Well, I think with that one is also planning your time out. Like saying, all right, I'm going to dedicate the most of my time to this one game. Like, for instance, I'm really good at NBA Live. And I've noticed that a lot of my followers and a lot of my views come from playing NBA Live. Like the other day, I think I had like 30 people in my NBA Live thing, which is different for me because if I play Call of Duty, that dwindles down to 0 real quick. So,
but you have fun playing like Call of Duty, and it's just at that point, it's like I need to do something that not only stimulates my viewers but also my brain too.
Yeah, so sometimes you just gotta have a balance. So what I normally do is for the first hour on my stream, I'll play something new. I'll play Don't Even Think, or I'll play Overwatch, or I'll play Spider-Man, or whatever the game I feel like really playing for that day. And then for the rest of the stream, I'll go ahead and play NBA Live because I enjoy playing NBA Live. Don't get me wrong. It's just that sometimes you want to pick up like Apex Legends. Like I've had a fix for Apex Legends. I'm getting into the story. I'm finding myself online reading the lore of Lifeline and all these other different characters just to, get into the game a little bit more. And sometimes you just want to share that. So I think when it comes to streaming, and if someone came to you and say, hey, I just want you to stream NBA Live. Okay, I'm going to stream NBA Live for the majority of the time that I'm on there. But I'm going to set a day or two aside where I can stream other games too.
Now, what if that company hits you with that, like, I'm not even going to say, like, $500,000. They're like, yo, Green, $500,000, 24/7, nothing but 2K. What you think?
If you got to do that for streaming, I mean, do it for streaming. And you got to find a balance. You got to figure something out. You can either stream solely NBA or 2K, and then on your YouTube channel, that's where you put your other stuff at, or you stream solely NBA. What if they hit you
with a $1 million deal and they're like, your YouTube, your Twitch, your Discord can't be nothing else but this one particular? Would you do it?
Then I guess professionally, you just stream and you just do videos for that, and on your personal time, you play other games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just how you got to figure out.
Like
I can
said,
do that.
When it comes to streaming.
As long as I can play other games on my own free time because I'm kind of like, my skill in gaming, it also helps my skill at work and in life in general. So I got to keep my responses and my response times at a good practice level. And the only way I can do that is by changing up my style in games. I can play Call of Duty Black Ops, but I can also play Battlefield or Battlefront. I can also play NBA Live pretty good. And at the same time, if someone were to put 2K in front of me, I can play 2K pretty well. So that's what I mean by, like, you got to have diversity in your gaming too, because if you can get to the point where you can put a game in front of you and you can just play it, you're good. You never have to worry about anything. And that's how people like Ninja and I'm pretty sure this kid Bugha, if you put Apex Legends in front of him, he can play that good too. Because you have to keep that kind of diversity in your gaming. You got to have that reaction speed with the understanding and everything else under your belt so that you can be better. Even if you want to be a competitive gamer, that's going to be good for that. If you want to be a streamer, that's going to be good for that. You got to have that in both your life. that's your life too. That's habits that you use in life. But we'll see how this competitive thing happens. I think there's a few games that they announced that I can kind of see becoming competitive. Like I said, I'm pretty sure Fortnite is coming out with a part 2, because they're running out of ideas with Fortnite 1. So
you talking about for say the world or just battle royale or the game period?
I think they'll probably come up with another Fortnite altogether, like a save the world and a battle royale, only because I can kind of see them running out of ideas.
Because the end of the season 9 was retarded. Like
it wasn't. It was good.
You blow up half of the map to build a Power Ranger Megazord to take out a. It didn't get it. I didn't get it. I had to delete Fortnite for a good month, and I just re-downloaded it.
Yeah, but I mean, where else are you gonna go with that?
Like, come on, and then now you add a meteor, right? And then you rebuild Dusty. You rebuild Dusty, and the meteor is aiming directly at Dusty, so you're gonna blow up Dusty again.
Yeah, but that's the storyline. The storyline is that for some reason the time has shifted. So now old things are coming back mixed with new things, and the whole time thing is messed up. Which, okay, since we're talking about Fortnite, my belief is that Fortnite, whoever comes up with the story of Fortnite, they take a gander at what's popular right now, and they try to figure out how they can incorporate things in it. Now, we all know that Marvel has introduced the popularity of different universes and space and time all together. So now Fortnite wants to adapt that. Apex Legends came up with the great idea of if you die, or if your teammate dies, you can resurrect them using a station. And Fortnite took that away from them too. So Fortnite knows what's popular and what's the popular little tink that they can take away from it. So I'm not surprised by this story, because in-game pretty much set that up to be popular. Saying like, okay, well now we're going to bring everything back. It doesn't say that, oh, this is a brand new story chapter. What it tells me is that Epic Games don't know how to really take that story any further than what it is. They're ready to make a new game. And I would not be mad at them.
But do you think it's because everybody's playing Dauntless right now?
No, I just think
so.
You get bored.
I think so. One, it's a free game. Two, like, you can earn platinum without having to buy platinum, and that's actually pretty nice. It's a slow process to earn platinum in Dead by Daylight, in Dauntless, but it is doable.
I'm gonna say something unpopular. I don't like Dauntless. I just don't.
What don't you like about Dauntless?
To me, I mean, maybe it's because like I started playing it, and like the first couple hours of playing it, it's very repetitive. But I don't like that it's repetitive. Like I hate that, and I hate feeling like I'm beating the same monster over and over and over. And it's not like there's a lot of different combos with it, or that I have like a whole bunch of things where I can switch up each fight differently. I mean, you have certain things like you can choose a different element of armor and a different element of weapon, but it's not like a lot of different styles to it.
I think that's all down to like personal preference at that point, because all video games are repetitive. Like you're either capturing an objective, doing something athletic related, which shooting the hoops, get as many points as you can. You guys can see how little knowledge I have athletic sports. Fortnite, be the top person in the battle royale. Like I feel like every video game is repetitive. So when people are like, oh, it's repetitive, I'm like, every video game is repetitive. I'm not understanding what the issue is. I think it's down to preference at that point. That's just my opinion.
I think when I say repetitive, it's like, okay, for instance, Fortnite. Yes, you do the same objective every time. However,
Mhm.
you get different team members and you get different enemies in each one. So they play differently than your last game played. And so everything is kind of like a new adventure. With Dauntless, I know these monsters' attacks, and I know, oh, I can pretty much time when they're going to do which one. I know if I cut the tail off of this one, he stops doing this attack, and he only does these attacks. And it just
Now,
seems like it's the same thing over and over again.
now for me, I do have an appreciation for Dauntless, but it's one of my least played games because I'm steadily grinding in Dead by Daylight and I'm grinding in Overwatch all the time. Um in Dauntless, the more you level up, the tougher and more difficult and unpredictable the monsters get. And we also have to remember that Dauntless is what, less than 5 months old, less than 6 months old.
Yeah, something
I
like that.
feel
Yeah.
like I feel like as the game grows, like the mechanics are going to change, the monsters are going to change, the difficulties are going to be different. Monsters are going to come up with more surprises. At least I hope so.
If they don't change these monsters around, then
Hmm?
I don't have. If they don't upgrade the monsters over
But the
over a
monsters
time
also
period,
do upgrade like throughout leveling, because there are monsters that I played at the very beginning of playing Dauntless, and I can't beat them as easily as I did in the beginning. So as you level up, certain monsters that, like you said, Green, oh, I can time their movements. I can, already pick out what weapons are going to be best to cut off their tails. The more leveling up you do, the more unpredictable the monsters become, or more difficult for that matter.
Yeah.
So, I do see Dauntless growing in that aspect and actually getting better over time with that.
I might have to wait for Dauntless to do better because I'm just. And
What's
part of me
what's
even
your
wants.
what's your leveling right now in Dauntless?
I have no clue. I've not played that in like a
That-
month or two. I couldn't even tell you. Like, I
I
remember.
believe anything under level 20 and under, the monsters are pretty easy. I'm mid 20s right now, and I'm having a hard time getting out of that range. But also, I was a little bit of an asshole and I didn't upgrade a lot of my armor and weapons in the beginning. So now I'm kind of backtracking my actions, and now I'm farming for items to build up my weapons and to build up my armor. So that's on me. That's on me.
I'll put it to you like this. Anybody that knows me knows I hate GTA 5. I hate it with a goddamn passion. However, it got to the point where I knew I had to pick up a new game, and I was sitting there, and I was like, okay, so it's a choice. I can either start playing with Dauntless with everybody else, or I can play GTA 5. And as I looked at the two, I was like, fuck it, GTA 5. I'm downloading that shit right now. So
Yeah.
I ended up downloading GTA 5, which it still pisses me off at times, but it's a little bit different. It's a different speed. So I'm getting into GTA 5 now. Dauntless, I'll probably pick it up in a couple months, and it'll be new to me. So I'll be like, oh, okay, cool. I'll play that for a little bit until it gets boring to me again, and then I won't play it. And that's normally how it goes. I normally do that stuff.
It's the same thing with me with Fortnite. Like, I'm playing the same people over, and there's nothing happening, so I just flat out delete it and then reinstall Modern Warfare until that gets boring.
Yeah. It even got to the point where I re-downloaded Infinite Warfare. And I played Infinite Warfare the other day, and I was like, oh, this game wasn't as bad. Like, I don't remember it being okay like this. Like, it's still horrible. It's still a bad game, but it was okay. It was doable for somebody who, hasn't played it in a couple years. So it was like a brand new experience. And I think that's what it is you get bored of something and you just need to put it down for like a couple months and then pick it back up. And it's like, oh, this is new. Why did I ever put this game down? So I don't know. We'll see. But let's move on. So AJ, you had a question that we could talk about?
The question was, what are y'all expecting from the new consoles that's supposedly coming out?
Ruby, you take this because mine's is kind of long.
I ain't expecting nothing because I'm too broke for a new console. If I'm being completely honest, like I'm excited about next gens and everything, but as a working single parent, ain't nobody got time for that. I'm literally waiting for the day that my PlayStation has steam/smoke rising from it, and then I'll consider maybe possibly getting another PlayStation 4 because it's going to be cheaper than the PlayStation 5. Like for real, for real. I'm not in a rush for new gaming. I've never been the person to be hyped for a next gen. Back when PlayStation 2 dropped and everybody was so excited and oh shit, PlayStation 2. I was getting the PlayStation 1 for the first time and I had to share with my brother and we had like 3 games. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I bring this up every time I bring up my gaming history. The only games I had, and again, my mother was working parent, single parent. The only games I had for my PlayStation 1 while the PlayStation 2 had been dropped and everybody was playing that were the free demos that you would get from Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Well,
Pizza Hut
pizza,
had a
you can get
deal.
free demos everywhere.
Yeah, but back in the day, Pizza Hut had this whole nationwide thing, and they had this demo, and this one disc had Tony Hawk. I believe it was either the second or the third game. They had Tony Hawk on a demo, and they had Final Fantasy VII, and you can only play up until a certain point. But me and my brother love playing until that certain point because Final Fantasy is not an easy goddamn game to play. So I've never had that experience of new console drops today. I'm going out to the store and I'm buying it and I'm super souped up and I got all my stuff and my brand new TV and that what was it? That 8,000K TV, even though our eyes can only see in 4K. Like I've never been that kind of person. And I'm not gonna start when the new gens drop. Like, I'm waiting for the day that my PlayStation 4 blows up, and then I'm gonna get me another PlayStation 4 on the low, and then when the price drop finally drops for the PlayStation 5, I'll consider it.
All right. How about you, AJ? What are you expecting?
I'm just expecting a good price, more storage space, and backwards compatibility. Because there's some games on the PlayStation 4 that I really want to be moved over, and more fighting games. I need another Fight Night for the PlayStation. I need Fight Night, another Killer Instinct. I gotta come back, man. Like that's all I'm really looking forward towards the new consoles. And spending $1,000 on a TV that's gonna break in 2 days for just to freaking game to work. That's not gonna happen.
Okay. I think for me, I am. I think I've been thinking about this last gen thing for the last year now. Ever since the rumors came out that next gen was right around the corner. I haven't gotten used to my PlayStation 4 yet to really think about a next gen. Will I pick up PlayStation 5? You're damn right I will. However, I'm still like, I haven't seen anything that made me think like, oh, that would be really good to put on the PlayStation 5 and that'll make gaming a whole lot easier. I mean, I know they showed like PlayStation 5 is supposed to make loading screens faster. They showed that with Spider-Man, how quickly the transition was from there. And that was amazing, don't get me wrong. It looked great. However, I don't really have a problem with loading screens now. So that's not an issue. It's not like I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, it would be so much better if it was faster. Because we're still amazed at the fact that I can have VR on a goddamn console. And I really don't think there's a lot of new technology where next gen console would be that much great. I know Xbox has the xCloud and they're thinking about streaming. However, that's already being done. So that doesn't impress me anymore. And I would like to see all 3 of the major companies being Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft. I would like all 3 of them to realize their strengths and focus on their strengths Now, this is where we're going to get a lot of haters. And y'all know who I'm talking about. Microsoft's biggest strength is not its hardware, it's its software. And I've been saying this since probably the very first Xbox, because I used to work in a game store, and I know how many times people used to come in with them Xbox Ones and those Xbox 360s with the red ring of deaths. Hardware has never been Microsoft's best skill. It's been its worst enemy, actually. And software has been its best. I want to see if Microsoft does come out with its own streaming only console. I want them to focus merely on their UI and just focus on the service software itself. Don't try to come at me with this bogus ass system. And for people who are saying, well, they do have great stuff, let me remind y'all, Xbox fanboys, Nintendo people, whoever, who is playing these games in disc form, these discs are Blu-ray. Who the hell owns Blu-ray? Sony. So stop telling me that Xbox is better when you're still using your competitor's software. I mean, hardware. You have
Shots fired.
and that's just saying that some of y'all think we don't research. You have to realize I've worked for video games before. I mean, video game stores before. I've researched this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. A lot of the times that I get mad, I get mad at Microsoft, not because I'm a Sony fan. I'm a Sony fan because I realize that Sony focuses on their hardware because they're great at hardware. They don't focus on their software. If you look at the differences in the UI of Xbox One and a PlayStation 4, Xbox One has a greater UI. It definitely has a greater operating system within itself, rather than the PlayStation. The thing about the PlayStation though is that they do what is the bare minimum. What they could do to make us happy, but also not blow up what the hell they have in their system. On the flip side, Microsoft don't give a fuck. They're going to sit there and say, I imagine this thing to be better than Facebook and everything, that it can connect with your PC and the same interface that it has on the Xbox is going to be what is on the PC. And the problem is that you create a piece of shit system that can't hold it. And I'm tired of that. Microsoft, you're great at software. Focus on that. Just merely on that. And deal with that first. You should probably do streaming only because you will be awesome at that. And that will bring a better competition to Sony, who is working on just hardware. And then you two can balance each other out. But for anyone to say that Microsoft right now is a great competition towards Sony, you're joking yourself. Because we have seen this last gen that Microsoft has not done a damn thing to compete with Sony.
But change the darn home screen.
They haven't done anything. And I've seen the promises. I've seen the little thing where they had like a couple E3s ago where it was like they had this virtual reality sort of thing, but it was the AR. That's what it was. And it was augmented reality. Yeah, it was the augmented reality where you can actually go up and move things around with your hands instead of having everything with that. That was great, but I haven't heard shit about it since. I haven't heard you work on it. Huh?
And how the VR been out for how long now?
The VR headset for PlayStation been out for like 2 years now.
And y'all still haven't dropped in Xbox. Y'all still haven't dropped your VR yet.
And a lot of people think that we're just hating on Microsoft. No, I want Microsoft to succeed. Let me say that again. I want you to succeed because when you have companies that succeed against each other, you have better competition, and better competition brings more innovative things in the future. We could have been up to flying cars right now if motherfuckers were actually competing against each other in a better light. We could have been sitting here with a console that comes with its own goddamn monitor. instead of us, worrying about we having to buy an 8K TV that no one gives a shit about. So if we just focus on our strengths, we be fine. Sony, you need to focus on your hardware.
Yeah.
I love the PlayStation
and
4.
your security system.
Yes. Well,
security system. Like you need it so like people don't be stealing your info and all that other stuff. You also need to work on your things because like my PlayStation should be overheating all the goddamn time.
And that's what they need to work on.
I try my best to keep that motherfucker cool, but sweet baby Jesus, that thing about to blow up.
Yes, and that's what they need to work on. Sony, you need to work on your hardware because this shit is loud as fuck.
Oh yeah.
To the point where when we,
I don't know if I'm playing the PlayStation or flying a jet engine at half of the time.
Exactly.
It's to the point where when we do the podcast, I completely turn my PlayStation off because you can hear it through the mic easily. So I turn that off. The only time I have it on is during the stream, and you can't hear it through my mic because I situate everything differently. But when we do the podcast,
I have to situate my mic away from my PlayStation, or my viewers will be like, "What's that humming?" Well,
exactly. So you need to fix that portion. Like if you can come out with a nice system that doesn't make any noise or as little the noise as possible, that's cool. Get better fans for it. Work on your hardware because your cell phones are amazing. Your laptops are amazing. Your monitors are amazing. Your PlayStation's amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's little things that you can easily just fix. Don't worry about the software. We love the software. The software is fine. Like the interface that you have for the PlayStation 4, A1, sir. Great job. Keep it that way. I don't really need all that other bullshit like Microsoft be having where it's like, oh, it's showing a video on your screen and you got to swipe up and left and to the right and around the corner. Fuck that shit. Your interface is fine, especially for the hardware that you provide. That's great. Focus on your VR. I'm cool with that because y'all have put VR on a whole new level than what we thought. We thought PlayStation VR was going to be like the very first iToy. Y'all don't remember what iToy is. It was the very first PlayStation camera back in PlayStation 2 days. And it went out really quickly, really fast. And we thought that was dead. And then you had the motion sticks with PlayStation 3. And we thought that was going to die. And when you came up with this VR, we also thought that was going to die. However, y'all did a really good job.
But I think those two items that you just mentioned were beta testers to see how we was going to react. And so they could hit us with the VR.
And it was, but when they hit those with the VR, they did a lot for the VR. And they really focused on how great it really was to the point where it was not only influencing their own company and their customers, but it was even a great competitor towards PC, where it was like they was taking on HTC and what's the other, Oculus, where people was like, I'd rather get the PSVR than the Oculus because the PSVR is a cheaper price, but it gives me the same style of gaming. So why would I go get an Oculus Rift for like $500 something bucks when I can go get a PSVR for $200 something bucks and play good games with it?
Ooh, shots fired.
So I'm just saying, like, PlayStation, you have the blueprint to be excellent. Microsoft, you have the blueprint to be excellent. However, I don't know why you're not using that blueprint. I don't understand. Now, on to Nintendo. You motherfuckers are the worst because you have a good hardware and you have good software, but you have no innovative ideas at all whatsoever.
And then as soon as sales goes down, let's make a new console. Wait,
let me get used to this shit first
before you start making goddamn shit.
Like
don't just ride the fucking coattails of Super Smash Bros. Come out with a new console just for Super Smash Bros. Or Animal Crossing. Come out with like more content, god damn it.
And that's what I feel like they do.
Yeah, they do. Well, I mean, this is not a fact. This is an opinion. But yeah, like Nintendo, stop that shit. Like, come on now. Just make more
Mario is
content.
about 2,000 years old now. Come on now, you gotta get rid of Mario.
Look, I like the Nintendo Switch. I like the idea of it, the concept of I can take this on the go or I can plug it into my TV. That's fine. I really don't see what the fuck the Nintendo Switch Lite or 2 or whatever the fuck they calling it. I don't really see the purpose in that shit because it looks like a fucking Game Boy in the shape of the Switch. And it's a smaller screen, and I don't know if you can hook it up to your TV or not, or any of that shit. However, it just seems like it defeats the purpose of what made the Switch so great in the first place, because that was innovative. However, then you get the games, and you kind of like, I don't want to play these bullshit ass games. Like Zelda looks pretty good, but I don't want to play
Zelda.
another.
Like that's more my brother. My brother loves Zelda. But like I said, like it feels like they make a new console to handle the graphics of their newer games that they keep rehashing and keep rehashing Super Smash Brothers. They keep rehashing Animal Crossing. They keep rehashing Zelda in some way, some fashion. And then once they get bored, they recycle those games again and come out with a new console that can handle newer graphics. And it's like, stop doing that. Cut that shit out.
And if you motherfuckers at
if I hear that Zelda flute one more time, I'm gonna go.
Well, you're gonna hear it a lot because there's another Zelda game coming out.
I'm gonna find who makes Zelda, and like, if you don't change the storyline one more time.
But that's the thing, like with Zelda, that's an actual good game, and I think they the only franchise they have that's like consistently good. However, there's some franchises that I just think is really dumb. For instance, you motherfuckers gonna stop disrespecting Sonic the Hedgehog by facing him up against Mario in the fucking Olympics. Why?
Again.
Do we not already know that Sonic is a lot faster and athletic than fucking Mario? Like, why are you disrespecting Sonic like that? That is just truly disrespectful as fuck. Like, let him rest.
And it's not like Sonic cannot be rehashed and re-brought to life. Y'all
he
just
can,
keep
but they ain't
throwing them in. Y'all just keep throwing them in Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Mario Olympics. Like, you're treating Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails like DLC characters.
Like, to be fair, their Sonic games is like hit and fucking miss. Like, one year Sonic games is fucking beautiful and excellent, and the next year we have fucking Sonic Shadows where he's a fucking werewolf.
But
we have not forgotten. We have not fucking forgotten.
I'm trying to figure out why Sonic's franchises aren't picked based on its most successful ones. For instance,
I think the biggest issue is, and Mario kind of has this issue too. I mean, they've gotten better with the whole the Mario games that where you can create your own levels. I feel like is more popular than the traditional Mario games. Their problem is that they're having a hard time adapting to the newer kids without making it gimmicky. Don't make Sonic gimmicky. He's fast, he runs fast, he collects rings. Stick to that formula, create newer instrumentals, focus on artwork, focus on creating new worlds, and I guarantee you that the game will be just as popular as the classic 2D Sonic games.
I want to know where the fuck is Sonic Adventures 3? That's what I want to know. Why do we not have a Sonic Adventure 3? Why do we have a Shadows, a Sonic Boom, a fucking everything else under the sun? What was that new fighting game they came out with? It was free a couple months ago.
Oh, Sonic Mania?
No, it wasn't Sonic Mania. That was okay. That was nostalgia. I don't even include that in his whole thing. That was nostalgia purposes. But it was like a fighting game where you can pick a Sonic character, and it was true to its word, a fighting game. It was sucked, don't get me wrong, but it was a fighting game. And you can make those. However, nigga, I'm still waiting for Sonic Adventures 3. Can we get that? Like, that Sonic racing game is good. That's a good start. No, it's not trash. It's good. It's good. It's definitely way better than Mario Kart. Way better. By far.
Oh, it had such a basic name, Sonic the Fighters.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Oh my
That
god, y'all
horrible ass
couldn't have
name.
been more creative than that. Jeez.
Yeah, that was some bullshit ass. I think I downloaded it and then deleted it right after I played it. But
Oh
they can
man.
come out with that shit, but you can't come out with a Sonic Adventures 3. I
I
don't care
miss
what
my
nobody
baby
says.
Knuckles. I love you, Knuckles. That's just one little tidbit I want to put out. Like everybody always assumes that the girl loves the main character, the girl characters. My favorite character was always Knuckles.
Well, let's not pretend like Knuckles wasn't the ethnic one out of the group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We all know.
Give Knuckles a story. Like, come on.
They could do a whole bunch. I would rather see Tails get his own story than Sonic do another one. Unless they're going to come out with Sonic Adventures 3, I don't want to see Sonic with another goddamn Adventures. Like, once they added a princess to this bullshit, I was kind of like, oh, okay. I see where you're going with this. So, we're just done, Sega. We just giving up? We giving it to Nintendo on this one? Alright, I see what you're doing. Like,
Once they gave it to Nintendo, it went downhill from there. It's
like they have enough stories where they could have made another Sonic game. They have enough. From the comic books to the anime to the movies. I understand you coming out with a movie now, which motherfuckers, whatever. But you could have pulled different stories out of any kind of lore that you wanted to create a really good. Sonic Adventures 1 was probably a very iconic game in video game history. I really don't see any sort of game like that that could compete with Sonic Adventures 1.
You could have pulled the story from the cartoon.
They could have done it from anywhere. But they consistently do these bullshit ass games. And that's why I'm mad at Nintendo, because you got that property. You won that property. And you mean to tell me you can't do nothing better with it? You can come out with a goddamn Mario Odyssey, but you can't do anything with Sonic.
Oh my god, a Sonic Odyssey? I think that would be amazing. Him just running around the galaxy.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I would have been cool with that. Like, even a Sonic Galaxy type of game, that would have been fine. But you mean to tell me you can't do shit with him? But put him in a Super Smash Brothers game? Like, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't even think anybody uses Sonic in that game.
I think they don't have the developers to even to make Sonic.
They do.
That's what I think.
Sega will gladly do it. I think Sega really wants to.
If, let's say I'm giving Sega 2 years to come out with a system.
They not, because they said that 5 years ago that they were coming out with a system, and that shit never happened. We were supposed to get a Dreamcast 2 10 years ago, and that shit never happened.
Yeah.
And I've been begging Sega, please come out with another system. It would be so nice. And they have not done it, and now it's too late because Google now said, fuck it, you're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. And they put their little number into the hat. So now we got the Google Stadia, which comes out in a couple months, which I'm hoping they did it right. I'm hoping they put a fire under Sony and Microsoft's ass where we just get the most amazing things next gen. And I really hope they do it right. Because I will go out there and I will buy a day fucking one if they do it right.
Yeah, because because GTA is supposed to be dropping information for GTA 6. They already dropped the location for GTA 6. So,
Rockstar, don't talk to me about GTA 6 until you get rid of these fucking shark cards and shit. I don't want to hear nothing about them.
GTA 6 is based in New York. Again, like.
Yeah. All right, I can deal with that. I would have rather been London, but all right, I can do New York again. I can see that. But I'm just saying, I think for next gen, I would like to see. Don't focus on streaming. I know you guys are worried about the Stadia. However, let the Stadia do what the Stadia does, and you guys do what you do best. Focus on getting CD, like physical copy sales, up, and more so focus on the download being indie games and games that don't have a physical CD title. Also, I would like to see Microsoft and Sony actually have a gear store where you can buy T-shirts and shit rather than me having to look all over the goddamn place for it. Can you advertise that stuff more often, please? I would like a PlayStation shirt and get a bigger sizes. Most of your gamers are not going to be a medium. Like, I'm not a medium, sir.
It's a medium.
Please. I would like a bigger shirt, please. Can we get a 3X at least once, please? Thank you.
Because they got the people in the company trying the stuff on.
Well, that's because they don't eat. All they do is sit there and look at their computer screen all day. They don't eat. So, can you get it for the people who play your games? Like, just saying. Some merchandise would be nice. I don't know. Other than that, I don't think it's really anything you can add to next gen. The controllers are going to look different. I hope they take the style of that. Astro came out with a controller where you can.
That don't work.
I heard differently. I heard that shit is beast.
That don't work.
But that controller, you can actually interchange your D-pad with your stick, and I think that's a good idea. And for $200, I understand that. But if PlayStation can come up with something like that, where you can change your outline of your controller, and you can actually change the weight of your controller, I'll be cool with that.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
So, Sony,
you know that Astro don't work, right?
I've heard
just
differently.
Like,
I've heard differently.
I have not played it, so I don't have any opinions.
I mean, the way that I've seen people play it, it looks like it's pretty damn good.
Unless they refunded everybody's Astro when it first came out, them first couple Astros that got sent out did not work for the PlayStation 4.
Oh, I've been hearing great reviews on them.
So, okay, then you must have refunded everybody and fixed that problem. Because that's the only problem that was wrong with the controller. It wasn't turning it on by itself. Like, you know how to play, you just push the PlayStation button on the controller and it turns it on.
Well, I heard that some people didn't even try to plug it in first, which I don't know how you not know that that's what you're supposed to do. Because I've heard reports of people complaining about it, and the resolution was that you had to connect the USB cord to your controller to your PlayStation first before you turn the shit on. And then it connects like any other controller, and then you can turn it on and off however you want without the cord. However, that's the only thing I heard, and I've heard some people who are idiots not doing that, which I don't know how you not know you have to do that. I would never just take a controller out of the package and then automatically think it's going to turn my PlayStation on.
But Green, do you understand? It was the big YouTubers that didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You can't blame the controller. You yourself didn't know how to do that.
Because there was a whole slew of freaking Astro unboxing on my darn Twitter and freaking YouTube timeline. And he kept complaining about it. I'm like, so I bought an Astros and they're complaining about it. And one of the devs said, all you had to do was just take the USB and plug it in. Why did you, like an hour later, they took the video down and redid the video. Like, yeah.
And you know what? That brings me to my last point on what I want for next gen. Can we go back to the days of Mad Catz coming out with controllers to make getting a controller a little bit easier? Sony, I love you, but your controllers being $60 is fucking ridiculous. So I would like Mad Catz to start coming out with their line of controllers again.
Yes.
That's like for $30, $20 and stuff like that. I would really like that again.
And Mad Catz, if you're listening to this podcast, we would gladly promote it too.
Yes, I will gladly drop the $30 for that. Like, I miss those days.
And please, for the big-handed people, quit giving us these little behind controllers. I'm not trying to order a controller from Amazon that's the same size as the controller that I have now.
No,
Mad Catz controllers were huge.
I might have to drop the $200 for that Astro. I might have to. But yeah, that's what I would like to see for next gen. But, we'll see. We'll see. I'm
Right.
sure new news is gonna come out by Christmas.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I say Thanksgiving. Some more news about Thanksgiving.
yeah, yeah. Well, before we go, me and Ruby actually met for the first time yesterday.
Yes, we did.
We met at a great event that I like. Ruby, do you want to talk about the event?
Yes, the event was at the Smithsonian Art Museum in DC. They do this annually, and it was arcades in the courtyard. It was a pretty amazing event. I had first noticed the event last year. Like I said, it's an annual event, but unfortunately I could not go last year. This was my first year going, and I'm so glad I did. I brought my daughter, but kids get hot, they get bored. Yeah, I had to leave. I left a little bit earlier than I had originally had planned to. I wanted to kind of make it an all day thing. But for anybody who is planning to go next year, I recommend going early. The event this
Mm-hmm.
year started at 11:30. I recommend there being there at 11. I
Yeah.
really do. It got packed so quickly. You had people that were, that have been gaming since the 80s, since the 70s there. You had younger kids that have never touched old school arcade machine ever, and just the look on a lot of these kids' faces are like, "Oh my goodness." My favorite part of the event, my daughter got to play on an iMac, and a colored backing iMac. She got to play on that, and she looked to her left and she looked to her right, and on the table was a bunch of different consoles and computer equipment from all eras, and she goes, what's up with all the TV monitors on the table? All the adults around her just start laughing their heads off. And I go, sweetie, those aren't TV monitors. Those are computer monitors. And she goes, nah, stop lying. What's going on here? And I'm like, nope, those big booty computer monitors, those are computer monitors. She's so used to flat screen monitors, laptops, touch screens. Like,
Yep.
she's used to all that stuff. And for her to see, I played Mrs. Pac-Man on, I believe it was an Atari, and like the screen was like less than 2 inches wide, 2 inches thick. And the console itself was like just as big as my laptop right now, and twice as bulky, like 3 laptops stacked, on top of each other. And I had so much fun. I played Batman on the Sega Genesis. I was so fucking heated. I kept trying to punch the bad guy, and I kept dying and getting shot at because Batman wasn't being responsive. Like, it's like, oh my God, I'm so used to 2019 Arkham City Batman, not this Sega Genesis Batman who can't land a goddamn punch.
It was definitely a great event. I think.
It was wonderful.
Did you see the one console that was like it was a plank, a wooden plank, but it had a gray silver thing or whatever, and you had to play with 2 people.
I did see that, and I was all like, "Oh my goodness!" There was this one game that it was called Color Vision, and all it was you typing on a typer, and it printing out what you typed. And I was like, "Wow, this was considered entertainment." There were a lot of lines. The lines were super long at the event. The venue itself is not that big. This was my first time at the Smithsonian Art Museum, and I thought that the venue would be bigger. It was actually smaller than what I had expected, but it was still really fun. There were not just classic games, Sega Genesis, Nintendo, N64. They weren't just those classic console games or the monitors, the computers, the Ataris. There were also indie developers with newer games. And this year they had a theme where it was all about inclusivity, LGBT developers, people of color developers, games about mental health and disabilities. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play a lot of those games because, again, I had to leave early, and also the lines were crazy, crazy long. And unfortunately, I only got to talk to one developer. And I really did enjoy talking to the developer I did talk to. she was very young. I'm not gonna say her age because I didn't ask her age, and two, black don't crack, so she could be anywhere from like 20 years old to like, I don't know, 16 years old. But she was really sweet. She was really sweet, and she was just telling me her upbringing about living in New York, going to an art school. At first she thought she was going to grow up and be an illustrator, but then she informed me like drawing things got boring. The longer the process was for drawing, the more bored she became. But
Yeah.
with developing games, you have more than just illustrating. You have coding. You have, how is this going to work? How are the mechanics going to work? Oh no, I got to go back in there because the program's not doing the thing that I wanted to do. So she had more fun with that because it was more involved and more encompassing. And I thought that was really cool. I kind of wish I had more time to talk to other developers besides herself, but it was just a really pleasant conversation and really cool talking to the people behind video games, indie games, people that, you know, make the entertainment for us, like seeing the face behind the vision. That was pretty awesome. There was a Gifinator.
Yes. My fiance did not want to do the Gifinator.
No, she did. Oh my gosh. So the
she
Gifinator was a green screen and a pedal box. You stepped on the pedal, and this computer would give you an improv to do. Mine was to pretend to be frightened and scared. And I started dodging and moving, and I had my hands over my mouth, and I could overhear a lot of people going like, that's not how you act when you're scared. But that was the first thing that came to my mind. And after you do this little improv, it what it does is it projects as an image on the green screen, and you see it back on the monitor. And mine was this giant spider that was coming down from the top of the green screen. And it was so cool because all that dodging, I didn't get bit by no spider. Hey, so that was fun. That was fun, and that was silly. What did your fiance do? What was her
Well, she
act?
refused to do that because she didn't want to be a GIF. We ended up playing Tomb Raider, the very first Tomb Raider, PlayStation 1, which was very good because because she's an old school gamer. Like, she's PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 gamer. She's not really into PlayStation 4. But I'm going to get her into Call of Duty. We already talked about it. But it was kind of nice to see her play because she played Tomb Raider really good. And then we played Tekken 3 on the consoles over there, and that was really fun.
Green, before you continue your story, did you beat a panda?
No, this was they didn't unlock all the characters, so you had like just the main
the
8.
The default characters.
But we walked around.
I felt so bad because there was a company that they buy and trade. Arcade games. So like if you're a homeowner or maybe you're a laundromat and you have room for an arcade machine, like this is a company that you go and purchase or rent or sell those machines. I felt so bad. All the arcade machines had lines. Everybody was playing with them. Donkey Kong Jr. was sitting in the corner, unplugged, all sad. I was oh,
I saw that.
No one wants to play Donkey Kong Jr. Why?
But they had some arcade games that I didn't even know existed, like the Spider-Man one. I never played the Spider-Man one before. They had Guitar Hero, which I think at the time Guitar Hero had the longest line.
Oh yeah.
They had like a lot of like newer games and older games, and then they had a section up on the 3rd floor that you can play like Nintendo and Sega Genesis games. And then on that same 3rd floor down the hall, they had the tabletop games.
Oh yeah.
So you can go there and play everything. I think they had one table was playing Dungeons and Dragons. Another one was playing like the regular tabletop stuff. They even had a little section for the older women.
A bunch of different games that you could pick from and like get your friends together and just sit down and play. I was slightly annoyed, just a little bit. One of the organizers of the event, she kind of upselled me. She was all like, "Oh, upstairs on the 3rd floor, we have our 80s retro room, and and 80s. See, this is why I feel like I need to get into interior design, because as soon as she said 80s style retro room, I thought I was going to come upstairs and it was going to be super loungy, maybe beanbag chairs like back in the day, maybe the inflatable furniture that was like a waste of everybody's money back in the day. I thought I was gonna see like maybe a lava lamp somewhere, but it was just a area with chairs and old school TVs and the cartridges, Nintendo games. My daughter played Mario Golf, and she got so frustrated. She's like, I don't know what to do. What is going on with life right now? What are these graphics? What is this game? I'm pushing the buttons, but it's telling me I'm moving the ball just like 2 inches away from me. And I was like, oh, my poor kid.
I did get a nasty look yesterday, which I need to say this to all parents. When you take your kids to this event and you see that there's a lot of retro games or older games, don't look at a grown-ass man like I'm childish because I want to play the games that I played when I was young. Your kids know nothing about this. Move your kids out of the goddamn seat so I can play. Okay? Screw your kids. All right?
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna bring my daughter next year when I go. Like she had fun. She
I can
did.
tell she had fun.
She did enjoy the retro games and stuff. But she was like, this venue is a lot smaller than I had. Both of us anticipated a bigger venue, a lot of different games, multiple floors. Like it's not that big of an event. But maybe, depending on attendance for next year, maybe the event will get bigger in the future.
Yeah.
Like I said, go early. If you want to avoid the lines, the screaming kids, the kids that are hogging machines, go early. The earlier, the better.
Yes,
and it's a 2-day event, like Green said earlier. So let's say you show up Saturday and it's like super hella busy. Try going again tomorrow on Sunday because everybody's probably going to be at church and not gaming.
And one of the things I picked up from it was that the company that had the arcade machines, they actually have a lounge, either in DC or it's in the Maryland area at least, where you can go and you can actually play the games, and also you can rent the arcade machines and buy them, and you can sell them to them too. So that was like kind of cool to kind of get that kind of information because I've been looking for a gaming lounge in this area for a while. And
I've been looking for a gaming lounge too.
Yeah, and it was also, like I said, like me and Ruby met for the first time, like in face to face. And it's good to like finally meet people that you game with or people that you stream with or people that you do podcasts with. And it gave a good place for gamers like us to come together and kind of have fun and stuff like that. So I definitely want to start looking for events like this for people in the area to kind of get together so we can all like communicate, like, just get together and just have fun with each other.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to next year. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, hopefully at the event. And the wheels in my head are turning, and I'm gonna try to set up meet and greets at this event next year. The more adults that are there, the less likely the kids are gonna be hogging the games, and then us adults can hog the games.
So I think the next event we need to all get together for is Comic-Con, because that's in September, I think. I'm pretty sure it's in September.
I is poor, so I is not going to no Comic-Con, but I'm there in spirit. I am there in spirit.
I have to figure something out. But yeah, it was a free event. So thank you to the Smithsonian American Art Museum, and also me and my fiance, we actually started looking around the whole museum. They had some really cool art. Like, I think we spent like 30 minutes sitting in front of, I don't know if you saw it, but when you go up the second floor, because we couldn't figure out how many pair of steps we needed to go up. So I think it was on the second floor, and you make a right. There's like this big giant portrait, and there's this big purple ottoman that's sitting right in front of it that you can sit down on. And me and her sat down and literally looked at this portrait for a good 30 minutes. Just kind of pointing out all the great things about it and just talking about it.
Oh yeah, the Smithsonian American Art Museum. I don't know how long these pieces are going to be there, but there was a lot of interesting pieces on the third floor, the same floor that had the 80s gaming room. There was this one art sculpture piece, and I'm going to try to explain it the best that I can. The entire United States map and the states were outlined with neon lights, and inside every state was X number of televisions that broadcasted something related to the state. And the easiest example I can come up with is for Kansas. They had the Wizard of Oz on loop, and it was Dorothy going, oh, I wish I could get out of Kansas. I wish I could get out of Kansas. And I thought that was really cool and creative to look at. On the third floor, they had a lot of people of color people of color artists, and
the Michelle Obama portrait was there.
They had the Michelle Obama portrait. That was my daughter's favorite portrait because of how strikingly beautiful that was.
That was my fiance's, but I like the LL Cool J one.
Yeah, I did like the LL Cool J. I did see the LL Cool J.
Y'all gonna make me go next year, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how long these pieces are going to be there. I don't know how often they switch out these pieces for newer pieces, but as of right now, they are exhibiting a lot of people of color artists, a lot of mixed art. At one point, and I don't think I got to tell you the story, Green. At one point, me and my daughter were on the third floor. We're walking out of the third floor, and I see this lady sitting down. I'm like, okay, whatever. But then at the floor, I saw "Do not cross this line," and they put that down for art pieces. I was like, "Oh shit! This is not a lady; it's a sculpture." And it was a woman sitting down eating ice cream, and she's tired and whatever, and she looks so real. I was like, "Oh my god!" I was about to apologize to this sculpture because I thought I was going to run into an actual person. And it was a really creative piece. One of my favorite pieces. We got onto the third floor, and there was this gigantic cylinder, and on the cylinder was projected images of phrases and words. And when I first saw it, I noticed that a lot of the phrases and the words were really negative. And I said it out loud. I was like, wow, those are some really negative statements. And another museum goer was like, yeah. Why would they have something like that? Why would they have something like that? I'm looking at it, and I'm watching a giant cylinder from the floor to the ceiling, giant cylinder, messages coming all around, and they're also going in a downward spiral. It clicked. That's negative thinking. When you think negatively, it's a negative spiral that keeps going. It has no end. It has no beginning. It just keeps going and going and going. But the second you stop looking at it, all those negative thinking just goes away. All those negative thoughts and phrases goes away. Because I realized almost all the other pieces had some kind of placard explaining the piece, explaining the artist. That one cylinder piece had no placard. There was no explanation for this piece. So it really was up to the interpretation of the museum goer. For me, it was a cycle of negative thinking because those phrases and those words kept going and going and going, and they were going down and down and down. And they started from the top down, just constantly going. I'm like, yeah, that's negative thinking. When you're thinking negatively and you focus on something often enough or give it enough power, that's all you focus on. That's all you think about. That's all that keeps going. At least that's my interpretation. I could be completely wrong. The artist could be like, no, I just wanted to troll people.
Well, it was definitely a great event. I can't wait to go back next year.
I can't wait neither. The Smithsonian American Art Museum. It's also, the short acronym for it is the SAM Arcade. So if you're interested in going, Google Sam's Arcade. The event is over by the time you hear this podcast, but like me and Green have said repeatedly now, it is an annual event. I'm definitely going there next year. So I don't know if you wanted to meet little old me or if you wanted to meet little old Green, hopefully we'll be there.
Yeah. So make sure y'all check out the links. I'll post the link to the website so you guys can check it out. And then also, if you are followers of Ruby on Instagram or you're followers of me on Instagram, we are both posting pictures from the event as well. And then
word of advice: never give your phone to an 11-year-old movie. because you're gonna just get weird selfies and weird videos. Like I learned my lesson. Like I had this really great video highlighting that a whole, you know, neon lights, American states and TVs thing, but my daughter had deleted the video, not intentionally, it was an accident.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, can you take a picture of me in front of this sculpture?" She like zoomed in on my face and you can barely see the sculpture in the background, and I was like, I appreciate the selfie. Thank you very much. But I kind of wanted the focus to be the piece behind me, not so much me. And she's like, cool. Oh, oops.
My fiance and I were goofing off, and she was like mimicking the poses of the statues in there.
Oh,
so
I used to do that.
So I have a whole bunch of photos of that too. So yeah, make sure y'all check out our Instagram for photos of the Sam Arcade event. But other than that, I don't have anything else. Did y'all want to bring up anything else for the podcast?
No, I don't think so. Esports is taking over the world.
Mm-hmm.
The Sam's Arcade was super awesome, super fun, and indie games need to be supportive, and that's why the Sam's Arcade is a thing, because indie gamer developers need support.
Yeah, so AJ, you gotta come with us next time. You gotta.
You gotta come with us. Pinky, you gotta come with us. Like everybody just needs to come to our neck of the woods, and we all get together. And
I got family up there, so I can easily make that trip.
Well, I'm getting married next year around this time, so there you go. That's two events you can go to.
Are we gonna have a Real Ones wedding? A Real Ones gaming wedding?
Well, I was gonna send y'all invites anyway, so yeah. So that'll be pretty cool for everybody.
Damn it! Now I gotta do crunches and shit. Damn it! Damn it! I'm not gonna outshine the bride because that's just rude as fuck. But you know, now I gotta look all cute and shit. Damn it!
I mean, it's gonna be food. So, and knowing me, I'm having barbecue ribs.
I'm gonna look cute, but
yes, I'm a cook for my own wedding that year. Yes, yeah. Hell no, I ain't doing not a damn thing on my wedding day.
You ain't doing nothing but being happy and eating and being happy.
Yes. I'm having barbecue ribs, crab cakes, crabs, everything under the sun. Fried chicken, barbecue chicken, curry chicken, everything.
So watch out for that next year, y'all. The vlog from the Real Ones Gaming wedding. And y'all get to see me cut up at the wedding and give a funny ass toast at the wedding. It's gonna be awesome.
Yes, but since we don't have anything else to talk about, Ruby, you want to give out your closing arguments and statements?
Yes. Who's starting off? Is it me? Is it little old my face?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to the Rose Garden, my followers. I wouldn't have the confidence to do what I'm doing if it wasn't for you guys. If by now you can't tell, I'm super excited about this indie game, Rush Attack. I plan on setting up a donation goal for this game for the month of August. I am going to try my best to raise funds. I don't know what that goal is yet. I might make it small. I might make it big, because all the support all it's going to do is produce an awesome game that we can all experience together. And that's what I want. Yeah, and if we don't do this, how do we expect the gaming industry to change? If we want the gaming industry to see that we are valued, we have to support one another, especially for something as awesome as Rush Attack.
Yes. And I think we could start that by, I'll probably be posting stuff about that on all my social medias and just getting the word out.
Oh yeah, I think if we tell Melanin Gamers about this, they're just gonna fall in love.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about you, AJ? What's your closing statements?
My closing statement is I want to give a big thanks to everybody that's in the Royalty family, man. I would not be at 112 followers if it wasn't for y'all. If it wasn't for the Real Ones Gaming, man, I will be back live Monday morning. And this is outside of gaming, but I'm a battle rap head, and one of my favorite battle rappers has been in a little trouble lately. But I just want to say, free the wave, free to serve, and some of Impact would not be the same without you, bro. And that's my closing statement for right now, man.
All right. And for my closing statements, thanks everybody that support not only Green SPMK, but also Ruby Rose 88, also King AJ, also Miss Pinky 313, also just the Real Ones Gaming all together. The Discord link is below. The new YouTube channel, for those who's not already watching it on the YouTube channel, that link will be below. We're going to start posting not only all of the podcasts on there, but also our own individual kind of videos too. So you might see Ruby just get the urge to talk about a gaming thing with her, and she'll post the video on there too. If I kind of come across some news stories that I want to get out there right now and not later, I'll go on there and make a video. Same thing with AJ, same thing with Pinky. So that's coming up pretty soon. Stay tuned for that. Thank you to all you pandas out there in the Panda Tribe. I appreciate your support. We're doing pretty good, to the point where you got me thinking about merchandise and things like that. Thank you guys for the support and the love. And until next time, you guys, we're going to get out of here and chill and stay real, everybody.
Stay real.
Stay real.